All right, so we picked up this plasma cutter here on Craigslist for a steal. And well, for a good deal. And now we need to make a home for this. We need to make a cart for this plasma cutter. And on that same cart is going to be a place for this here air compressor. I would come to realize during this project that this air compressor is too small for the plasma cutting business and have to go out and get a larger air compressor. And not only that, but we're also going to have a fold-out table to cut things with the plasma cutter. And to make all that stuff come true, we've got a number of supplies right here, as well as over here. We've got some sheet metal. So we've got 16 and 18 gauge sheet metal over there. We've got some 1-inch flat bar, 1/8 inch thick, 1/8 inch thick again, 2-inch flat bar. We've got some 16 gauge square tubing, and we've got some 1/8 inch angle iron. This is the general plan. We want this little foldable table thing that can drop down on the side and then fold out, stick a little leg under there, and plasma cut some stuff on there. Alright, so next, in order to get this wheel on the back here, we have that guy sitting back there, and it's going to be down about 1/2 inch in terms of the axle here. It's going to be down, sitting down, just about 1/2 inch there. And what we're going to do is put this little plate on there. The hole's already drilled out for the axle. That gets welded on there. And then we've got a little brace that goes on the back side here. Approximately like that. That'll help strengthen that whole thing up. And so next is to weld this stuff on there. So I gotta clean up this section here so I can weld to that. Alright, so with these wheels on the back, my next step is to put these wheels on the front here. I'm going to go ahead, this has zinc coating or whatever on it, I'm going to go ahead and grind all that coating down so it's just a bare metal on the edges here and stuff where I'm going to weld it. And I'm just going to put a couple little tack welds to hold this on here. This is some of the 1-inch flat stock, 1/8 inch gauge, or 1/8 inch thick. We're going to stick this in here. Alright, so we've got 2 cross braces in here, and those will help support a piece of sheet metal that will go across this whole thing, and that will become the floor of the cart. All right, I've gone ahead and cut up the 2-inch flat stock there. And I've got several pieces that are going to be the width, and then a couple longer pieces that will be the length of my plasma cutting table. Alright, so I've got my little plasma cutting surface welded up here, and it's basically just all that flat stock, 2-inch wide flat stock goes into making this. So it's not exactly light, but it's not super heavy either. I've got it sort of curved on the end here. I've got some holes drilled in it so that I can put little hinges on the side of the cart right here, and this thing you can collapse down on the side and hang like that, and then I can hinge it out and then have a little work surface out here. So my next step is to make a little brackets here that connect to my little table. Alright, so in order to make a similar bracket, I'm going to basically make the reverse of this and use some more of this same flat stock, and I'm going to make this, cut it back about 2.5, 2.25 inches to allow a little bit of space up here for my weld and for this stuff to move around. Alright, there's my template cut out of MDF, about 1/4 inch MDF. I probably could have done this differently, where I could have just made one side, just cut this in the middle and just made this one side here, and then when I could cut the one side in the plasma cutter and then flip it and cut the other side, and that would make for a more standardized product, as well as probably a lot less work in terms of going and shaping these little holes out. So what I'm going to use this for, though, is a template, so I can put the plasma torch in there and just zip, 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 and cut those holes out on a piece of sheet metal. So for right now, I've got this. PVC pole. I'm going to use this to prop up my little table here, which puts it at a weird angle, but I can still work on that. So there's my little work surface. I'm going to get around stuff here. Sheet metal. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this guy up here, and I want to get a kind of a reference for it to square up this sheet here. So I'm going to line this guy up on these corners, and then I'm going to mark a line there. I'm going to clamp this down, and we're going to try and cut it out. See what happens. Aha! Alright, so there it is. Everything is finally cut out here. I'm quite happy with the plasma cutter. My problem is with the air compressor. The little air compressor I've got, I can only cut about 3 inches, and then I have to wait for the air compressor to fill back up again. So I'm definitely going to be in the market for a bigger air compressor. Magnet. And then this guy goes in right here. That is one brace for the shelf that supports the plasma cutter.
way or I turn?
So the cart is coming along. Got it set up here. I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna place everything, where I'm gonna hang all the cords and everything. And at the moment, I'm really liking this, where I just take the negative and clamp it right to the cart. And then when I'm cutting stuff, it's over here on the cutting table, and it's already tied in to the ground over here. I need a place to hang the actual torch cable here. I'd like it to hang. I'm gonna make a little hanger right here. I'm gonna make the hanger so I can take the hanger in and out, so I can pull the plasma cutter in and out again. I don't want this like permanent thing down here like blocking that in. I've got some scrap angle iron here. I'm gonna cut a little piece of that off to make a little sort of hoop right here, and then I'll use some 1/4-inch rod and make a little hook that comes down, and I can pull a hook in and out. And then back on the side here, you can see I've got some air hose there. And we swing around to the back here, you can see it's just hanging back here. I've got a little magnetic clamp that I've stuck to the side there and bent this little clamp as I needed it. It was a little bent further in, bent it out, and now that sticks on the side real nice, hangs there, and then my cord is wrapped, or my hose is wrapped with some Velcro. And we also need to make a hanger for the actual electrical cord here. Do another hanger right back here. So I'd like it so that it winds and hangs in this area here, leaving the bottom area open. And then in the bottom, I think at this point I'm gonna put my chop saw down there. That's where I'm gonna store that for right now.